So throughout the NBA season, I redrafted every NBA draft from 2019 to 2023. And something I want to do this offseason is every week redraft every single NBA draft, basically dating back to 2003. And even sprinkle in like the 1996 and 98 redrafts as well, because those were absolutely loaded and iconic. If you guys want to see more of that, just let me know. So yeah, today we're going to be going at 2018. The 2018 draft could go down as one of the best ones since 1996. There's a lot of studs in this class, potential multiple Hall of Famers. So let's get right into it. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. Number one overall, Phoenix did debate taking Luka Doncic at the time. They had Igor Kokoskov as an assistant head coach who had a connection with Luka, but they decided to go with DeAndre Ayton instead, with the Arizona and Phoenix connection there, where he played collegiate basketball. But obviously the number one pick in a redraft is Luka Doncic, who is on his way to being in the Hall of Fame, and possibly if he retired today would be in the Hall of Fame. Luka's been in the league for 6 years, since 2018, and he is already a 5-time All-Star, a 5-time first team All-NBA member. He's had 5 straight top 10 MVP finishes as well. He was the Rookie of the Year from this class. He was the 2024 Western Conference Finals MVP, won the scoring title this past year as well, averaging 34 points, also tagged along 9 rebounds and 10 assists tonight. And to be honest with you, Luka may have the greatest resume of all time for a 25-year-old to date. So at number 2, Sacramento fumbled the bag here. They ended up taking Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic, but they're going to get somebody that's going to rise up 9 spots. They're going to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So we currently see a Kentucky backcourt in Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, but instead it'd be De'Aaron Fox and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai definitely had a different developmental path to being a superstar in this league than Luka Doncic, but here he is as one today. Shai was more of a defensive-minded point guard during his Clipper days before getting traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the massive Paul George trade in the 2019 offseason. And he really broke out onto the scene in the 2021 season, and over the last 4 years, Shai has averaged 28 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, a steal and a half a night, 51% from the field, 35% from 3, and 87% from the line. He finished runner-up in MVP voting this year. He was runner-up in Most Improved Player voting last year. And oh yeah, he's one of the better defensive guards in this league as well. And he'd be going to Sacramento, where we'd be seeing a very fun backcourt with De'Aaron Fox and Shai for years to come. I definitely had some debate here at number 3, where I'm going to have Atlanta keep the 3rd overall pick. And it's between Trae Young and Jalen Brunson. And in my opinion, Jalen Brunson is better, but since Atlanta drafted Trae Young, I still think they'd ride with their guy. Trae Young has also posted video game numbers since entering the NBA. Basically, since his sophomore season, Trae Young has averaged 27 points, 10 assists, a steal a night, and has shot 44% from the field, 36% from 3, 88% from the line. He's only made 3 All-Star appearances in those years, basically every even year in 2020, 22, and 24. He also led the Atlanta Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. Trae does have a high turnover rate, and he does play some lackluster defense. That's pretty much what's holding him back from being a true number 1 on a team right now, but he's still one of the best point guards since he's entered the NBA, and I still think he goes number 3 to Atlanta, since Dallas is not trading up to take Luka Doncic. So Memphis is on the clock at number 4, and in 2019, they got their Mike Conley successor in Ja Morant, but they're getting that here in the 2018 draft, and they're getting Jalen Brunson. Brunson was the 33rd pick in this draft, so he's going to be moving up 29 spots. Brunson was a really good off-the-bench scorer in Dallas behind Luka Doncic throughout the first 4 years of his career, but he really broke out since signing with the New York Knicks in the 2022 offseason. Since signing with the Knicks, he's averaged 26.5 points, 6.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and has shot 48% from the field, 41% from 3, and 84% from the line. He was an All-Star and All-NBA second team member this year in 2024 and finished 5th in MVP voting, and for the second straight year helped lead the Knicks to a playoff series victory in round number 1. And it's kind of crazy, Dallas got Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson in the same draft class. At number 5, Dallas is missing out on Luka Doncic. Obviously, he's going number 1, so they're getting Jaren Jackson Jr. here at number 5, the best defensive player in the class. I think we just forgot about how good Triple J is on the defensive end of the floor, and he won Defensive Player of the Year just a year ago in the 2023 season as a 23-year-old. So Dallas is getting a defensive stud that could be a stretch forward for them or put him at the 5 as well. Triple J has made an All-Star game. He's a 2-time block champion, a 2-time All-Defensive Team member, and like I said, won that 2023 Defensive Player of the Year award. He's coming off a season where he averaged 22.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and a block a half a night. And I think just his defensive potential and his switchability on that end of the floor, but add in his offensive versatility, makes him a lock to go in the top 5. At number 6, Orlando originally took Mo Bamba. I was a big fan of Mo Bamba in the pre-draft process. Obviously, they're not going with him here. They're going to be going with Mikal Bridges, who originally went 10th to Philadelphia. Mikal Bridges was just traded to the New York Knicks this past offseason. He helped the Suns as a complimentary piece to the NBA Finals in 2021. Bridges has had an interesting career so far. He was on an all-defensive first team in 2022 and finished runner-up in Defensive Player of the Year voting behind Marcus Smart. He's an Ironman. He's played every single game possible of his career so far, and he's a very efficient scorer as well. Over the course of his career, he's averaged 14 points and has shot 48% from the field, 38% from three, and 85% from the line. And he could have been a true building block for Orlando since they went into a rebuild a couple years later by moving on Nikola Vucevic, Evan Fournier, and Aaron Gordon. Chicago went Wendell Carter Jr. at number 7. They're not going to be taking him here. They're going to be getting Michael Porter Jr., who went 14th overall, the last pick of the lottery to the Denver Nuggets. There were questions with Michael Porter Jr.'s health going into the draft process, especially with his back. And if that wasn't the case, he was going to be a top 3 pick in this draft. He was a legit top recruit coming into college, where he originally committed to Washington, decommitted, then went to Missouri. And those injury concerns were on display early in his Nuggets career because he did not play at all in his rookie season in 2019 and played in just 9 games in the 2022 season. But outside of that, Michael Porter Jr. has been an absolute beast. He's averaged 17.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and has shot 50% from the field and 41% from 3, as well as 80% from the line, and has one of the best jumpers in the game today and was such a vital part to the Nuggets 2023 championship team as a complimentary piece around Nikola Jokic. He's going to Chicago here, where he could blossom as potentially a number 1 scoring option. 8, Cleveland originally took Colin Sexton. You could go with him here at number 8, but I'm going to have them take Miles Bridges, who originally went 12th overall. Bridges just got a massive payday from the Charlotte Hornets in the 2024 offseason, and over the last 2 years of Bridges' career for the Hornets, he's averaged 20.5 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists a night, and has shot 48% from the field, 34% from 3, and 81% from the line. He's a physical bruiser inside that could be a stretch 4 in this league, and that is very valuable in today's day and age, and he'd be a building block for Cleveland in the post-LeBron era. Coming in at number 9, the New York Knicks originally took Kevin Knox. Yeah, one of the bigger busts from this draft, but they're getting Colin Sexton here. Sexton is just still 25 years old, and he just came off a season averaging 19 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 5 assists a night for the Utah Jazz, shooting 49% from the field, 39% from 3, and 86% from the line. And pretty much every healthy season of Sexton's career, he's been a really efficient scorer in this league. I think he's developed well into a true identity of a combo guard in this league, not being a traditional point guard, but more of an off-ball scoring type. And the Knicks were so bad in the 2019 season, Sexton may never have developed into the way he is today, but it had to have been a better pick than Kevin Knox. And coming in at number 10, we have the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Anthony Simons, who went later in the first round to the Portland Trailblazers out of the IMG Academy. This is a nice 14-pick rise for Anthony Simons coming here into the top 10. Over the last 2 seasons for the Trailblazers, Anthony Simons has averaged 22 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds a night, shooting 44% from the field, 38% from 3, and 91% from the line. This was one of the better draft picks in this class by Portland, taking a raw but high upside shooting guard and really developing him over the last couple of seasons. It's still yet to be determined if Anthony Simons can be a winning player, because both the seasons that he's had nice scoring years, the Trailblazers haven't been good, so we don't know if it translates into wins yet, but he'd be a nice piece around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid in Philadelphia because he's a really good 3-point shooter. So at number 11 here, Charlotte is going to stay with this pick, and they're going to get a center here who went number 1 overall in DeAndre Ayton to pair him up with Kemba Walker. Ayton's actually been a fine player in this league. Is he a bust for the number 1 overall pick? I wouldn't say so. There's been much worse number 1 picks in NBA history. Ayton's been a fine player, like I said. There was just a lot of good talent that went after him. But Charlotte here is getting good value in Ayton, who's averaged 17 points and 10 rebounds throughout his career and has shot 59% from the field. And like I said, would be a nice pick and roll partner with Kemba Walker. We got back-to-back Clippers picks here. The first one is going to be at number 12, and that's going to be Dante DiVincenzo, who originally went to Milwaukee here in the first round out of Nova. The third Nova player drafted in this redraft. DiVincenzo's a nice swing man. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife, can do a little bit of everything, can defend on the perimeter, can defend off ball, can knock down some threes, run in transition, finish at the rim. He's a really solid player. And at 13, they're getting Wendell Carter Jr., much better than their original pick in Jerome Robinson. Carter Jr. falls a couple spots here in this redraft, but is still a solid big man as well. You could make an argument for him going at 11 instead of DeAndre Ayton. Over the course of Carter's career, he's averaged 12.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 2 assists, has shot 51% from the field, and has actually been a pretty solid 3-point shooter as well from the 5 spot. To finish out the lottery, Denver originally took Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, he's off the board, so they're getting somebody that went originally in the second round, and Mitchell Robinson. This will be a depth pick behind Nikola Jokic. Robinson has averaged 8 points and 8 rebounds throughout the course of his career. He's super efficient around the rim. He averages around 2 blocks a night and is going to get you clutch offensive rebounds as well. At 15, Washington is getting Grayson Allen instead of Troy Brown Jr. Allen was a senior coming out of Duke, one of the more older prospects prospects in this 2018 draft. And over the last 4 years in this league, Allen has been phenomenal, averaging 11.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and a shot 45% from the field, 42% from three, and 88% from the line, and would be a really nice complementary piece to John Wall and Bradley Beal at this time. Second and last pick here, we're going to have Bruce Brown go to the Phoenix Suns here at 16. They're not trading up to 10 with Philadelphia because Mikal Bridges is off the board. Bruce Brown has been a perfect role player over the course of his career, has bounced around on a couple teams. He was the 42nd pick in the 2018 draft, so that marks now 3 second-rounders that have jumped into this redraft, first being Brunson, second being Mitchell Robinson, and now Bruce Brown. And we all know how important Bruce Brown was to the Nuggets title team in 2023, and he could make that exact same impact for Phoenix in 2021. So yeah, Phoenix doesn't get DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges in this draft, but they do end up with Luka Doncic and Bruce Brown. I'll take that instead. And the last pick here at 17 to Milwaukee, I feel like this was the final player that was worth mentioning in a redraft. It's going to be Kevin Huerter going to the Milwaukee Bucks. They originally got Dante DiVincenzo, but I do feel like Kevin Huerter can provide a similar role, definitely more consistent three-point shooter, not going to give you as good defensive style of play or just, I think, overall well-balanced style of play, but Kevin Huerter could be a nice sharpshooter around Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis back in 2018. So yeah, that is going to be it for me and my 2018 redraft. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with in the comments below. Drop a thumbs up if you guys want to see redrafts all summer long, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.